Today I'm going to be taking a look at a show that some genuinely consider to be an Adult Swim classic, and others, they consider it to be a torturous nightmare, and that show is 12 Ounce Mouse. Now, I have watched this show before, but it was when I was a little bit inebriated, to say the least, and that works well, because this show really is for the kind of people that are like, dude, load up the bong and then we'll put on 12 Ounce Mouse, which it works well because the show is just pure chaos. It is just a mouse that's really plump, really thick, really huge, walking around defiling his community in really horrendous ways, but I seem to remember it being pure chaos, but still being quite comedic. So today, I'm going to be checking out this show with a zero amount of inebriation in my blood, in my bones, to see if the show holds up all on its own, if it was actually comedic, or it's just one of those shows where you gotta just be throwing them back, just lighting up to enjoy. So, yeah. 12 Ounce Mouse. Let's check it out. Taking a look at episode 1 of 12 Ounce Mouse, I genuinely made such a big mistake upon my initial viewing, and it's to no fault of the show. I felt like I was going through CIA torture, like they were ripping off my fingernails, shoving 19 pine cones up my ass, hypnotizing me, telling me to go run a mile, run, Tubby, run, as they vigorously whipped me. That's what it really felt like, and it's not the show's fault. When I was using my totally legal process of gathering the footage of the show to showcase to you lovely people, I somehow recorded the audio in 3 different intervals, all a second apart.
Like to be an eye.
It's
Wow.
like,
Oh yeah.
wow, real,
Real
estate, real.
And because I thought 12 Ounce Mouse was just supposed to be chaotic, I just rolled with it.
Here's it once.
Make it 13.
So, yo, the Mo.
What is
So,
that? Like
yo,
shorts
the
to
Mo.
mouse. What is that?
So
Like
tell me,
shorts to
man, Mo,
mouse.
what's up? What you
Yeah.
want with Joe? Tell me, man, Mo, what's up? What you want with
For all 11 minutes, and I felt like my brain was going to explode with how this was going, and I just thought it was their natural conversation for them to just constantly be saying the same thing over and over again. I felt like I was in a dark room, like the light was fading away from my life, like everything was getting sucked from me, and I was about to give the most scathing review of this god-awful show.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Park that tank here.
Excuse me, sir. Sir.
You can't park
Sir?
that tank here.
Excuse me.
You can't
Sir?
park that tank
Sir?
here.
Until it hit me. I don't think anybody could sit through that. I don't think anybody could enjoy that, and I just fucked up my entire recording, so I sat there listening to them repeat themselves over 100 times in that episode, and it was the most torturous experience of my life. But once I actually went back and watched the episode normally, it's pretty goddamn funny. I actually enjoy the show. Obviously, it's very chaotic and there's just a bunch of crazy things going on the entire time, but I still found it to be very enjoyable. The episode opens with 12 Ounce Mouse just literally walking into a help wanted area and just saying, "You need the job. I'm your guy for the job. Are you gonna give me the job? Give me the job." As he's talking to this big, thick, plump shark who's on a desk. Yep, I like it. He gets the job, and so he just starts chugging, slugging back some beer, and that's when this rectangle man comes, and he's supposed to drive him to the cheese factory, and he just starts talking about porn. He's like, "You like porn, Mr. Rectangle Man? Take a look at this," as he shows a big old stinky, skunky sex doll, and the rectangle man, he doesn't seem to like it because he doesn't have eyes, and then they take him to this warehouse in the middle of nowhere and they throw him onto the bed and start forcing him to do a porno, which was so weird just hearing 12 Ounce Mouse, especially because the animation just looks so awful, and then you have just this big thick mouse just being like, "Kiss it, squeeze it."
I don't know.
Although this is a comfortable bed,
Kiss it.
I don't think this is Cheese Industries.
Kiss it. Squeeze it.
"Oh, come on," as the rectangle man doesn't seem to want to do any of this with the skunky, stinky sex doll, so 12 Ounce Mouse just brutally murders him. That was great. And so now him and Skillet, yes, Skillet, which is a, bipedal squirrel that just makes demonic noises. Yeah, he's pretty interesting. Him and Skillet go and rob a bank successfully, and then they go to a bar, They're at the bar, and that's when 12-ounce Mouse begins his downward spiral as a character. This madman, this hound dog, this evil rat, as he just starts staring at this woman who is wearing a nice dress, you know, not even a little bit of skin showing, probably just there for one little beverage to just help her get through her day. And he starts just slowly slinking up to her like a spy on a mission, passionately kisses her. She's terrified. She didn't like that one bit, and he's just like, come on, baby. You liked it. I'm giving you what I wanted. And then he proceeds to throw up all over her.
Oh,
What are you doing?
making out on you. It's what you wanted. I mean, come on. Look how you're dressed.
You're such.
And I just have so many questions. Is this a natural occurrence for Mr. Mouse? Does he just walk up to women, passionately kiss them, and just release all of his internal body fluid all over her, thus marking his territory? I don't know. But then the woman just boggled my mind even more by not being a woman, or she was a woman, but she has this transformation where she's like, go man now! And turns into a man, and then flies away with her rocket boots.
Manpower go.
Yeah, don't be that way.
I think that entire sequence of events sums up this show pretty decently well. Just pure chaos of a woman transforming into a man in the blink of an eye and then flying away, and then 12-ounce Mouse being disgusted with himself, all very interesting. And then we get some more improvisational tone with the cops showing up to question if they robbed the bank, but at the same time, I don't think it's improvisational because the characters are randomly laughing at a bunch of nonsense. Like, the cop is constantly laughing at just like, so I see you got a bunch of beers over there. Those are expensive beers. How'd you afford those? Did you rob a bank? Like, why is he laughing? Like, why are you doing that? It can't be improvisational if they both decide to start laughing at it, or are they all recording together? I have no idea. Either way, they eventually leave the bar, and that's when he has to go and meet up with his boss once again. And on the way there, he just goes, I'm drunk, and then keeps getting hit by cars repeatedly over and over again, and it's pretty hilarious. And I just love that he just decides to look up, and he's like, what's that? And then gets pounded by a meteor.
What are you looking at? What's that? Is that a meteor?
So, again, pure chaos, everything you could need. It gave me a good old-fashioned chuckle, and he goes back to his boss, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. He gets hired on for another job. Lovely, fantastic. It's great. I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. If I was to rate it 1 to 10, I would probably give it a solid 7. It's exactly what it's supposed to be. I'm not going to call it bad because the plot is all over the place. It is just supposed to keep you entertained with things happening randomly and for no reason, but the timing of everything that was supposed to be a joke actually landed for me, and I thought it was pretty goddamn funny, so solid 7 out of 10. Taking a look at episode 2, we get a lot of really decent conversations in this episode, like Mouse talking to this guy who's an eyeball about how he wants him to kill Golden Joe, and they just sit there and they're like, oh, it's gonna be 50 mil. 50 mil? I don't have 50 mil. But you need 50 mil. It's gonna be 50 mil. $50 million. And then a sweet, succulent, beautiful woman honks her horn, literally.
Upside your head.
It pays 50 mil.
Oh my god, the writing, it's passionate, it's brilliant, it makes me feel like a little boy on Christmas, dear lord. And then I just get to watch Mouse and Shark have this thrilling conversation where they go underwater and all I hear is you know, underwater noises, a common theme, a common underwater nonsense. And then they go outside, and Shark says something that genuinely made me feel like I was watching one of the greatest romances be built in all of fiction, where Shark says, I've grown to care about you. but not in that kind of way, only like 50-50 in that kind of way. And I'm just asking, I'm praying for the 12-ounce mouse and shark dirty, stinky, steamy shower sex scene, because I need it so unbelievably bad now. I need these characters to just get their 2D asses together and just start pounding it, because God, they're building it up so well, and I just can't wait anymore. We then cut to this lovely scene at the bar, where the bartender sees Golden Joe, who's a mouse, who talks like in reverb, and he walks up and he's like, oh, you Golden Joe, oh my lord, oh. So he's gonna give Golden Joe a drink. And Golden Joe, he is just sitting there. That's when Mouse pulls up and they start talking, and Golden Joe says something about bouncing with the ladies. He's gotta go. He's got short. He's back at the crib.
Here you go, Joe.
Flow Mo Soho Do Quiz Night. Show you right. Shorty, what's up?
Yeah, I'm in.
And that sentence alone is enough to make a young boy's ass quiver, because my ass was just shaking violently with excitement and joy as I heard Golden Joe say just such thrilling lines. And apparently Mouse doesn't want to kill Golden Joe. He takes the money and he goes with Golden Joe to buy a tank to break Skillet out of prison, because Skillet's in prison from when they robbed the bank. Yeah. It's just all so stupid, but it's all so good at the same time. And then, God, it's just so ahead of its time. It's the tank just driving up to the prison, and then there's a woman there, and she's like, you can't park there! You can't park the tank there! You can't park there!
Park that tank here. Excuse me, sir. You can't park that tank here. Excuse me. You can't park that tank here.
Like every single TikToker, when they see somebody slightly parked wrong, or when they see a 5-car pileup and there's a literal family of 12 that is all dead, the babies, the children, the mom, the dad, and all is left is the middle child who now has to face the entire world alone, and there's just a girl who's like, you can't park there! You can't park there! See, the show is just ahead of its time in every conceivable way. They brutally murder the woman saying that you can't park the tank there. They go inside of the jail. And I no longer think that the relations between the police officer and Mouse are improvisational. I think his entire character is just, let's get the guy who's voice acting this guy high as fuck, send him in, and he just has to try to read his lines, and then they just laugh and giggle. And so they eventually go back, they get Skillet, they got Skillet, and Golden Joe goes in the prison, and that's the end of Golden Joe in that episode. So Skillet and Mouse leave, and they're driving the tank, and he sees the sun, and just breaks out into one of the most beautiful harmonies I've ever heard. It goes a little something like this. Look at the sun, I stare at the sun, oh, as it sets on the mountain. Yeah. Look at the sun over the mountains. Yeah, that was fucking beautiful and incredible and a thrilling way to end the episode. I don't have anything else to say about this. I don't even feel like my rating system really works for this, because it's so different from any other show in existence. But for my enjoyment, I guess I give it an 8 out of 10. If you look at my ratings for this show in particular, don't compare it to any other show I've ever rated, because it's a completely different beast. It's apples to oranges. But I thoroughly enjoyed it nonetheless. Taking a look at episode 3, I don't know how to feel about this one. It's all over the place. We get one of the most profound things I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just absolutely brilliant, with Mouse having a dream. He has a big old fat dream where he has children. He laughs so giddy, like, ah! You know, he's just having a wonderful time with them. And then he wakes up from his dream, and again, he just says something so brilliant, so profound, that it changes my entire perspective on life. He fucking hears the sound that goes... What do you think of when you hear that sound? You probably think of a ticking clock, right? He says, what is that ticking? Where is it coming from? The clock? The clock is making the ticking. Really?
That ticking is coming from that clock.
God, I never would have looked at it that way. I never would have thought of it that way. I just feel like this show is changing everything about me in just such a beautiful and harmonic way. A ticking clock making a ticking noise. Oh, wow. Oh god! And so Skillet shows up, he stabs Skillet for some reason. That kind of made me angry. He just says he forgot who Skillet was after stabbing him with a knife. How could you dare stab Skillet? That was baffling. I don't know how you could do something like that. And then all of a sudden he pulls a divine corn dog out of his ass. Yeah, does any of this make sense to you when I'm stating all of it? No, probably not, but he pulls it out. And then we get to meet the corn dog man, who's singing a song about guarding all of his corn dogs, and he lives in a corn dog forest, and Mouse shows up there, and then Mouse and him drink a lot of beer and get fried, and that's pretty much all there is to that scene. Just them getting fried, drinking lots of beer, and talking about corn dogs. Yep, so that was pretty great. Fucking the corn dog that Mouse is holding starts flying and fluttering away because it's apparently sentient. So he's like, I can't let that mangy hound get away, and fires a bunch of rockets at it.
Mangy smell hound, here it comes. Fire!
I don't know how to describe this show while still being a comedic and funny YouTuber, because I'm just describing complete and utter fucking nonsense. What are we doing here? And so, then, we get to see the villain that is forming, and it's this rectangle guy. He's talking a lot about getting money, and he apparently invited a man over because his thick, sexy, square body needs to be pounded by a man, but it's the woman who could turn back in to a man and can turn into a woman, so she's all like, woman power, go! And then says to arrest him.
They.
Woman power on. Arrest this man.
And I don't technically know what he did wrong. He just said, don't you want me real bad with my thick, sensual, square body? Or rectangular body, I'm so sorry. And then the officer shows up and just does his gag where he's like, I'm the law. I'm arresting. Yeah, so he does that. Again, not really adding much here. And Skillet gets kidnapped by this kooky little ghost character. And then we again just get a scene that is so profound, so beautiful in a way, yet has so much tension that it makes you feel like your heart is going to sink, like at any second, impending doom is approaching, where Skillet is tied up with bondage in his mouth, can't even say a word, as the ghost starts hula hooping, sensually, beautifully, aggressively, if you even want to say. And I don't know what to make of this scene. I don't know what the implications are for the future of Skillet. Is the hula hooping meant to be sensual? Why are there pictures of Skillet all over the wall? Why are they hula hooping to this beautiful music? I'll never really understand any of it, but that's pretty much the end of the episode. Really don't know where this is going. I don't know what to think anymore. I don't know how much of this I want to continue to watch, because at a certain point, I mean, it's all linear, but it's all nonsense at the same time. And the weirdest part is that I enjoy it. I like it. It's enjoyable. I give this episode a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here because it kind of feels like I'm just stating the same thing over and over again with every single episode. This is very chaotic. This is happening here. This is happening here. This is happening here. And it's really hard to talk about a show where so many things are happening rapid fire that if I want to describe one scene, that scene doesn't last long enough. It's immediately a fucking Skillet squirrel talking demonically, getting kidnapped, and being hulaed everywhere. It's just a very interesting show that I definitely think if you haven't seen, you should check it out to truly understand what this experience is like, because I honestly think it's very enjoyable if you just sit there with your mind off and try not to process things. But overall, decent show. I liked it. I would recommend it. It's worth it, I'd say.